canteen where they cook.
We are in a basement food lapo.
You then enter in a basement there.
Right.
You'll turn right.
20 steps. Steps.
You will then find stairs.
Until you come in the church office.
You will then go up with those stairs until you get out you get to the charge office.
And then something sihamba ngase church office.
Nihamba ngase?
I-church office ngaphambili thina sihamba ngapha ngase.
The church office would be on this side. The witness is demonstrating, my lord, showing on the right-hand side. We would walk on this side. Witness is demonstrating with his hands, my lord, showing that we would walk on the left side of the church office. We would then find the gate which we entered, where I said there's a police officer there. The police officer would open for us and we would go inside. We will then find a lift, the lift that we exited from.
Yeah, second floor.
The lift that we used when we came from the second floor.
It's Kupuwe until the second floor.
We will then go up until the second floor.
Second floor, study gate.
At the second floor, we will then find a gate. There would be police officers seated there. They would open for us, we would enter.
And then the
detainee would go to his place.
Okay, thanks for confirming that there is more than one way to access the 10th floor offices. I think you might have been, am I correct in saying that you were then describing the route back to the second floor cells?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me just clarify. When you were describing the second route, when we were there last week, you said there was a police officer, an oldish white man who used to open the lifts for you.
Okay.
Was he there for the second route also? Was it also only manning the first lifts?
Ngenkathi kukhuluma ngale route yesibili ke uye wathi ke bekhona iphoyisa ke elubaba omdala ke bekahlala lapha na uyena ke bekenivulela manje ke malud with
the second set of lifts. Yeah. Was there also someone controlling access in and out of there?
Kulama lift lawo esibili ke noma isetle esibili ama lift ke beke khona naye umuntu lapho ke ebekenisiza lapho ukuthi ningene niphume.
Yeah, bekhona.
Correct. So my lord, there was
it the same person?
No, I see the same person.
No, my lord, it's not the same person.
Yeah.
Yes.
My
lord, can I explain it so that you can understand it better? Yeah, brother. The first route which I showed on this side where there were lifts which were not working anymore. The witness is pointing more to his right side with his right hand, my lord. When you then get to those lifts, you would find police officers. Yes. You would enter that lift. We are now going to the 9th floor and the 10th floor. That lift would stop at the ground floor.
Ground floor.
The lift will then stop for the people that is working on the ground floor.
The security. I want the security branch.
That's the people from the security branch. We will proceed with the lift.
First stop to 9th floor.
This lift will then move first stop to the 9th floor.
I still blue lift.
it won't stop to all the other floors.
Mofika e-9 floor.
When you then arrive at the 9th floor,
Iyavuleka i-lift.
the lift will then open.
Ila ngithola khona umlungu
That's where I find a white man.
ohlezi njengamaba ngihlezi nje.
A white man who is seated the way I am seated here in court.
Ilokho za ukusuka asithi ukusuka la ukuya phezulu. Amadlasi ngapha, amadlasi ngapha, amadlasi ngapha.
Let's say from here, the witness is showing with his right hand, my lord. He says from there up to the top, it would be glasses.
Then mayongena e-9 floor.
Then when you enter the 9th floor,
Umuntu oya e-9 floor uyakupresela. Awungeni nje upress i-button kanje.
you don't just enter. He would press a button for you, for a person who's going to the 9th floor.
Umnyango wakhona isitile esingaka esithick kangaka.
Umnyango wakhona.
Yeah, we
That door, it's a steel door that's as thick as this
yeah.
big. The witness is demonstrating by showing his hands, my lord.
It would seem to be more, perhaps about 25, 30 centimeters.
Angazi ukuthi how many centimeters.
I'm just estimating. I am not certain how many centimeters it is.
Bese bangena abaya e-9 floor. Mabeceda ungena.
And then the
sebangani uyapress uyavaleka umnyango.
Okay. The people that's going to the 9th floor would then go to the 9th floor. The witness is indicating with his right hand going to the 9th floor. Then, uthi mabangena bese
Uyavaleka umnyango uyavala umsebenzi wakho uku-operate lo mnyango loyo.
he would then close that door. His job is to operate that door.
Suke e-9 floor siyakhuphuka siya e-10 floor.
From the 9th floor, we would then go up to the 10th floor.
10th floor is same procedure efana nale yase-9 floor.
On the 10th floor, it's the same procedure as on the 9th floor.
But lo mlungu lo akasekho e-10th floor.
But this white man is not at the 10th floor.
And then lapha kune-button la upressa khona. Nakhona kune-steel door esilingana nalisa sase-9 floor.
That's the 9th floor.
Yeah.
There's a button that you press, and also the door on the 10th floor is a steel door as big as the one at the 9th floor.
Press sivuleke
You will press it, it will then open.
siceda ungena apressa futhi siyavala.
After going in, you press again, it will then close.
Ukusuka lapho la sivale khona and then ama-office wonke
La sivale
wase-10th
khona.
floor. Yeah, angithi naku la sivale khona sithi ichi uvalile. Sisha ema-ofisini wase-10th floor.
My lord, I would, let's say where it closes. Uthi bese mayivala.
Siya ema-ofisini wase-10th floor.
We are going to the offices of the 10th floor.
Angazi noma ngabikisa ngaleli blanka lethu.
I don't know if I can use this witness box as an example, my lord.
I-passage leli,
There's a passage,
long passage leli.
a long passage, and the witness is demonstrating by using his right hand, my lord, by pointing forward.
Asithi la kule edge le ama-office wonke la.
Let's say on the edge would be offices.
Nala kule edge.
All the way will be offices.
Nala kule edge la ama-office wonke la.
And also on this edge would be offices. And witness is now pointing on the opposite direction from where he was pointing the first time when he said on this edge, my lord.
La.
It will also be offices on the opposite side.
The offices on both sides of the passage.
Kushuthi
Yeah.
ama-office zombili ke
Angapha,
iphasika nangapha.
angapha,
Correct. So there's offices on this side and on that side. She's showing on the right hand side and on the left hand
Yeah.
side.
Straight aya so straight.
Okay.
La i-passage la ngapha nangapha ama-office.
Yes, my lord. There's a passage and there would be offices on both sides.
mangazi ukuthi ngichaza ukuthi okay asithi ichi ngihamba ne-detain sihamba ne-detain.
I don't know how to explain this, but let me make an example. If I am with a detainee,
kumele ngichaze ukuthi liphelela kuphi le-detainee before belithatha kithi thina balithatha kithi.
Okay, but should I explain what happens before they take the detainee from us?
Mr. Nyampula, perhaps we can ask you, once you arrived on the 10th floor, you've said in your affidavit that you would typically hand the detainee over to someone in particular. Who would that be?
Asibheke kanjena ke baba. Asithi ke mawusufikile lapha ke on the 10th floor, ku-10th floor. Lapha no affidavit yakho ubhale ukuthi ke khona ke umuntu othizeni ke ozomnikeza yena ke lo detainee lo yangithi. That's correct.
And typically who would that officer be at that time?
Ngaleso sikhathi bekubani ke lelo phoyisa lelo ke?
Captain Mahoro.
It was Captain Mahoro.
And then thereafter, did you know what would happen to the detainee with Captain Mahoro?
Emva kwalokho ke noma ke masumnikezile ku Mahoro ke wena ubuwazi ukuthi kuzenzakalani ngalo detainee loyo.
Mahoro uzalithatha or athi limukiseni e-office number shooting mukisa kuyiphi office.
Mahoro would take the detainee, or Mahoro would instruct us, or he would say where we would take the detainee to, or to which office.
Now, before I interrupted you, were you intimating that there was some other procedure that would happen before you handed the detainee over?
Ngaphambi ukuthi ngiphazamise uthe khona mhlawumbe okunye kwenziwayo ngaphambi ukuthi uthathe isiboshwa ke noma i-detainee unikeze uMahoro.
Yeah.
Yes.
Please explain.
Sicela ukuchaza.
Yonke leminyango le.
You are now on the 10th floor.
10th floor.
Siku-10th floor manje ngithi. We on the 10th floor, my lord.
Iminyango yonke le ihlala ivaliwe. Lakho iminyango kumele uhlale uvuliwe.
All these doors are forever closed. There is no door that must stay open. Witness is pointing on his right hand side, my lord. The office is on his right hand side.
I-office kaMahoro ngoba umsebenzi wakhe kwawukwema kuleli passage la bheka ukuthi akunamuntu la epassagini indawo isafe.
Office la kaMahoro.
Yeah.
It would be Mahoro's office. Mahoro's duties was to make sure ukuthi abheke ukuthi akunamuntu lapha epassagini.
Yeah, akufuneki umuntu la. Abheka ukuthi akekho umuntu ohambayo la.
Mahoro's duties was to make sure there is no one in the passage, no one is walking up and down that passage.
And then office lakhe ithi ngichaze asithi office lakhe lingapha ngane ela kaMahoro office.
Let me just explain this. Mahoro's office is on this side. Witness is pointing to more to the right side. Mahoro's office is a small office.
Ngapha kwa left opposite nale office la kaMahoro.
Yes.
I-office labantu abamnyama njengami. Wonke abantu abamnyama bahlala e-office elilodwa ngazathi likhudlwa nyama.
Right opposite Mahoro's office on the left side, there is an office for black people, and that office is a bit bigger. That's where the black people would be, in that office.
Wonke namanye office kwahlala nje abelungu kuphela.
And all the other offices were the white people only.
So can I get clarity? You say the bigger office was for all the black people. Who are these black people? The police officers, security officers, or the workers, or who are they?
Malalela nje uthi kulelo office lelo ke eli opposite nalelo kaMahoro ke elikhudlwana bekuyi office labantu abamnyama bekuwa ama security abasebenzi noma amaphoyisa.
Security branch members njengami
It was the security branch members like myself, my lord, people who were working with security.
And Mr. Nyampula, can you explain why it was necessary for Captain Mahoro to clear the passage, the corridor of people before the detainee was brought through?
Babunyambule ungakhona ukuchaza ukuthi yingani Captain Mahoro bekumele ukuthi yena ke aqiniseke ukuthi lapha passage akunamuntu laphana ngaphambi ukuthi i-detainee ifike lapho.
Ngayithola njalo ngokuya kwakhe ipolicy yase 10th floor leyo.
10th floor. I found it like that. According to him, that was the policy of the 10th floor.
So you didn't know why that policy was in place?
When I was ukuthi ingane yo policy leyo yenziwe noma kuthiwe kanjalo.
Ekhuluma iqiniso angazi bengithini, but ngokuya kwami ngobona kwami babenzela nje ukuthi abantu bangabonani, abantu bangahlangani.
Honestly speaking, I really don't know. But according to me, it was just for people not to see one another.
Okay, thank you. Now, Mr. Nyampula, following the interrogation, when you were asked to bring the detainee back to the second floor cells, I'm not asking you to describe the route again, you've done that, but what would happen when you arrived back at the second floor cells at the reception area?
Masasilandela leyo interrogation leyo ke masubuyela futhi ke lapha sothatha manje detainee manje umbuyisele emaselini ke kodwa ngisho ukuthi uchaze ukuthi uhamba kanjani bekwenzakalani ke maso bakumele ukuthi yomlanda.
Uyambuyisela noma uyamlanda?
I'm taking him back.
Taking him back, and on arrival at the second floor cells, was there a procedure, any more paperwork?
Ukumbuyisela ke angithi uyamlanda manje uyambuyisela ngithi bafuna ukwazi ukuthi ke iprocedure injani ke kumele ubhale ugcwalise futhi amaphepha noma bekunje.
Yeah.
Chaza lokho.
Mafika second floor ushuthi umbuyisa back from interrogation noma investigation.
Uthi mawusuka ku second floor.
Ngithi ubuya at 10th floor uyamletha manje second floor.
From the 10th floor, you're now taking the detainee back to the second floor. Yep.
Singela ngalo lela gate uphuma lift into the gate ungene.
Out of the lift, you find the gate. You then go through that. You go through that gate.
Sorry, Mr. Pano, just to save a little time, you don't have to describe the route.
Okay.
Well, although perhaps I should ask you, before we talk about what happened when you returned to the cells, going back, at least going to the 10th floor and perhaps even coming back, approximately, how long would it take you to walk with the detainee?
Going back.
Well, if there's a difference in time, I'd like to know, but typically from the cells to the 10th floor, how long would it take?
Ukusuka lapha emaselini ke ukuya ku 10th floor ke kuthatha isikhathi esingakanani ke ukuthi ufike lapha?
Ungaba 15 minutes, 20, but not more than 30 minutes.
It could be 15 minutes or 20, but not more than 30 minutes.
And please explain why it would take longer than normal. Am I correct in saying that a normal person might be quicker, but if you were escorting a detainee, it might take longer?
Ngizobe ngiqinisile ukuthi makube uhamba nomuntu onormal ke kungaba fast nyana kodwa mawusohamba no-detainee kungathatha isikhathi eside.
Yeah.
Correct.
And the reason is?
Isizathu
lesi i-detainee liboshiwe ngasesikhathini
The
lifakwe ama-leg irons.
The reason would be the detainee would have leg irons on.
Nala ezandleni lifakwe ama-handcuffs.
Even on the hands, there would be handcuffs on.
And then sometimes kuyadepend ukuthi umfasela ngakuphi ngoba
it also depends where are you. It also depends where do you fasten him, because
mangasukuma ngibonise kahle ukuthi kanjani.
Can I just stand up and show the court?
Ufaka ama-leg irons
If I've got leg irons
and
on,
ama-chain and then
leg irons with chains, and the witness is showing a holding position with both his hands, my lord, in front of him,
handcuffs
and also handcuffs.
la i-chain ngala ma-handcuffs fuza bambe kune-ring la.
And then with these handcuffs on, he should hold this chain,
Yeah.
and at this chain there's a
And
ring,
then uyahamba uyali.
and then he would then move forward.
So the motion of the detainee was somewhat restrained, and perhaps they were shuffling as opposed to walking normally.
Manje ke i-detainee ke bekahamba kancane angafani nomuntu ohamba fast.
Kunjalo.
That's correct, sir.
And would it also perhaps depend on the condition that the detainee was in, the detainee's health, whether maybe he had any injuries?
Futhi mhlawumbe kunga depend futhi ne condition ukuthi yena isimo sakhe i-detainee isimo sakhe sinjani mhlawumbe ngokwempilo noma.
Kunjalo.
That's correct.
If
Was it the same for women detainees also? Well, you did not escort women detainees.
Bongaba escort abesifazane.
Escort.
We would escort them.
Were they also chained in the same manner?
Nabo bebefastwe kanjalo.
Wonke umuntu.
Everyone.
All detainees?
All
Bonke
detainees.
ababoshiwe.
Yebo.
All detainees, my lord.
as a court, please. Mr. Nyampulu, if we can now fast forward, you have returned your detainee to the second floor cells. On arrival back at the second floor cells, what would happen?
Masifasforward kancane nje siye phambili kancane ke soyambuyiseka manje sinilapha kwi second floor manje nesiboshwa sakho ke mase nifika lapha kwi second floor kwenzakalani.
Okay, ngizeza i-example.
I will make an example.
E-second floor kunamaphoyisa we-uniform wabelungu ahlala lapho.
On the second floor there are police officers, uniform police officers, white police officers who are seated there.
Asithi ichi mhlambe ukhona omunye owethu. Asithi mina ngiphumile mina bengenzi escorting.
Let's say, for instance, I am out, I was doing escorting, and then one of our members would be there.
Yeah, ngizenzi ichi njengabantu bebesebenza maseli.
I will make an example, like the people that was working in the cells.
Warrant Officer McPherson,
Warrant Officer McPherson,
Sergeant Patos,
Sergeant Patos,
Warrant Officer Sili,
Warrant Officer Sili.
asithi base second floor nabo.
Let's say they are all on the second floor.
Siyangena
We would enter.
asifulela isifulelwa i-uniform.
The uniform members would open for us.
McPherson noma uSili uzobhala kusine asithi detainee asithi mhlambe ichi asithi bathuja bungwe.
McPherson or Sili would write. For instance, let's say the detainee's name is
Asithi ujabungwe.
for instance, let's make an example. Say his name is Jabu Ngwenya.
Na ujabungwe samletha.
Yes, Jabu Ngwenya now. We bring in Jabu Ngwenya.
Bheka isikhathi uyabuzwa ufine yonke lento lena.
They would look at the time. He would be then asked, "Are you okay?" and whatever.
Uyaseshwa.
You would be searched.
And then uyakhululwa ama-handcuffs yonke lento.
They would unlock his handcuffs.
Athathwe amusele back selula.
They would then take him back to his cell.
Eselini lakhe mayifika khona uyavalelwa nakhona.
When he arrives at his cell, he gets locked up.
Kune-outer door ne-inner door.
There's an outer door and an inner door.
I-outer door
Yeah.
is a wooden door
The outer door is a wooden door
in a hole.
that has a hole, and witness is demonstrating, my lord, by closing one eye and holding his hand like.
And then phambili bese kuba nomunye umnyango oyi-grill.
Then in front there would be another door, a grill door.
If mazongena eselini.
Or makazongena seleni.
Yeah, umnyango oqala i-2 le mnyango. Oqala we speak.
That is if now the person is going into the cell. There are 2 doors. It's the first door and the second door.
Ilo i-grill door.
That's the grill door now.
Angene avalelwe.
He would go inside.
Ukhelwa
He will then be locked inside.
i-uniform.
The uniform members is the ones who would lock.
Mina engisebenza lapha.
I, as the person who is working there
We security branch.
from the security branch,
Kune-chain engaka.
there's a chain as big as this. Witness is demonstrating. Show the bambe kanjalo ba? Bambe kanjalo.
Yes.
In a padlock.
In a padlock.
Yeah.
That chain has a padlock.
Uniform aqeda ukhiya lapha. Mina ngithatha le chain nje.
Okay. When the uniform member finish locked, I would then take that chain.
Ngiyaroundisa, ngiyavala lo mnyango manje ngiyawubopha. Nge-chain. Yeah.
I would take this chain and then fasten this door, lock this door with using this chain.
Asithi iji ngiyaroundisa.
For example,
Ngiyaroundisa ngiroundise.
I would fasten it by putting it around this door and put another round.
Laphelela khona li-chain lokuqala nali-chain lokuqala ngapha angithi isihlala kanje.
Where on the end or on the edges of this chain, it will then sit like this, or because the witness is demonstrating, my lord, with using his pointing both his fingers, one finger on top of another.
Ngithatha le padlock le.
I would then take this padlock.
Ngiyayifaka la, ngiyavala. Ngiyakhiya.
I would take this padlock, put it into this chain, and I would lock.
Thank you, Mr. Nyampula. Actually, you have already given evidence on the cell layout and the question of the doors and where the keys were kept.
Kahle kahle sowuphendule nemibuzo ukuthi ke ilayout yesel lapho nekey ukuthi zibanjwe kuphi konke lokho bosothulile konke.
And unless the court has further questions on that aspect, I'm going to move on.
No. I don't think you told us who changed the detainee when he gets out of the second floor to go for interrogation. You only told us that he gets unchained when he comes there. Did not really tell us who actually changed it.
Ithi inkosi enkantolo ke ikuzwile ke.
Person and-
Ithi inkosi enkantolo ikuzwile uchaza ukuthi ke makaya phezulu ke ku interrogation. Makabuya ke uyakhululwa ama chain kodwa awakachaze inkantolo ukuthi makaya ke esuka lapha second floor eya phezulu ku interrogation ubani omfasayo noma ombophayo ama chain lawo.
Yimi engimlandayo.
When umlandayo,
Yeah.
I am the one who fetches him, the detainee, my lord.
Engimfasayo.
Umfasayo. I am the one who fastens this or who fastens the detainee, my lord.
Ya ngifaka ama-leg irons
I put leg irons on the detainee.
mangiqedile
Thereafter,
ngifaka ama-handcuffs.
I would handcuff him.
So handcuff-iwe ke lapha.
Then the detainee is cuffed.
Sorry, after handcuffing him, you went handcuffing, was he in his cell or where you handcuffing?
Lalela ke mawusume nkhafa ke noma umfaka mawusume umfaka amakhafu ke lawa koza nkosi ke ukwenza kuphi lo asesengaphakathi eselini yakhe noma
Kuyadepend.
it depends, my lord.
Sometimes ngimfasela iselini, sometimes ngimfasela la azibhukhelwa khona.
Sometimes I would then
Number
fasten him
officer.
in the cell. Sometimes I would fasten him where we book him.
Yeah.
Right.
As the court pleases. Mr. Nyampula, on your return, and let's just say you've put up the example of Mr. Ngwenya. If Mr. Ngwenya did have a complaint, on return to the cells, what would then happen?
Basengibuyela-ke nje uwenze-ke umbonele wathi-ke uMr Ngwenya-ke masumlanda uMr Ngwenya-ke usumbuyisela-ke lapha emaselini-ke if he has complained, you said
Exactly.
makube-ke uNgwenya unesikhalazo-ke kwenzakalani?
kwenzakalani ngiyambuza ukuthi une-complaint yini isikhalo
What
sakho
happens? I ask him, do you have any complaints and what is your complaint, if any?
abesangitshela ukuthi masikhona nathi yebo sikhona.
If there is a complaint, the detainee would say, yes, there is, I have a complaint.
And then if ushayiwe le e-10 floor
Yeah.
noma bamenzeni uzangitshela ukuthi bangishayile okanye uyabona ukuthi ngilimele kangakanani.
If the detainee was assaulted on the 10th floor, the detainee would then say to me, I was assaulted. If there are injuries, you would say, can you see how I'm injured?
zonke lezi zinto lezi zibhalwa phansi.
And all of that would be noted down.
So where does it not made in a record book?
Manje-ke manibhala phansi-ke nibhala phansi kuphi-ke kwi-record book noma?
Ngingasho nje ukuthi record book ngoba incwadi yakhona i-thick
I can say it's a record book because that book is a thick book, my lord, a book as big as
asithi le petrol yasisilo wesibili lapha
Perhaps
incwadi
that black book over there.
big as the diary,
yeah but inkulu kuleli diary.
but a bit bigger than that diary, my lord.
Is the type of book that you find at the police stations?
Ile ncwadi lezo ozithola laphana esetshenziswa laphana e-police station.
Yeah
Le bayibiza ukuthi occurrence book.
yeah
Correct, so my lord, that's the one.
Would it be the occurrence book itself or another book?
Bekuyiyona i-occurrence book leyo noma bekuyelinye nje elinye nje incwadi.
angeke ngisho but angithi asithathe ngokuthi i-OB occurrence book.
My lord, I'm not sure, but let's take it as an OB occurrence book.
So I take it all the details complaints will be found there in that book.
Manje-ke ngithatha ukuthi zonke ikhalazo-ke zabantu ababoshiwe-ke noma amaditheni lawo-ke abhalwa kuleyo ncwadi leyo.
Yebo.
That's correct, so my lord.
And who would fill out that book? Would it be yourself or somebody else?
Ubani ozobhala kuleyo ncwadi leyo? Kubhala wena noma omunye umuntu?
Le ncwadi ithi njengami ngoba mina ngangisebenza emaselini.
Ithi
Ngithi i-example asithi njengami ngoba mina bengisebenza emaselini.
for example, because I was working at the cells,
Asithi omunye bamphokile out uthathwe ngabanye ama-security branch mina ngisebenza emaselini.
okay, let's say I'm working at the cells and security branch members came to book him out. Yeah,
Yimi engibhalayo
I'll be the one who would write down.
lo ongaphumi la e-ofisini lasemaselini angiphumi mina ngihlala
The one that's writing is the one who doesn't go out of the office, the cell office. I'm stationed there at the office of the cells.
ngiyabhala ngezo zonke lezi.
I would write down, note down, and do everything.
Ne-booking yenziwa kanjani
Even the booking out, that's the way
Yim-
it starts. I am the one who must note down everything.
and then lo omthathayo abesiyasayina laba abamthathayo lisi
Oh.
bayi-2 sebamsayinele.
Then the people who takes the detainee or books him out, my lord, is the people that will then sign for booking him out.
ukuthi bamthathile.
Although I'm only talking about the recording of the complaint, not we dealt with the booking, only the recording of the complaint.
Lalela-ke okwamanje esikhuluma ngakho-ke isikhalazo-ke sesiboshwa-ke laphana-ke makanesikhalazo.
makanesikhalazo yakubhalwa laphaya kule-OB le kuba nenye incwadi la kubhala khona ama-complaints
Kuba nenye incwadi.
kuba nenye
If there is a complaint, we don't write it in that book. There would be another book where we write the complaints down.
Well, we have to be clear about this, Mr.
Yeah, yeah,
Ndhule. Are we talking about the occurrence book, the OB, or another book for the complaints?
Sikhuluma nge-occurrence book leye OB noma incwadi enye. Sikhuluma indaba zesikhala sama-complain.
Nona ngicalile phansi ukuthi mangithatha ama-complain ngidemonstrate ngisho ukuthi ngiwathatha kanjani ama-complain mhlawumbe izaba ngcono kanjani.
Maybe I should start over. Maybe I should explain it in detail. If there is complaints, how do I record it down?
Please do.
Asithi ngiyangena emaseyini.
Let's say I'm entering the cells.
Njengamahova ngisebenza khona.
Like I am working there.
Before ngiqala ukusebenza emaseyini ngenza anything.
Before I would start doing anything at the cells,
umsebenzi wami ukuhamba cell to cell.
My work is to go cell to cell,
ngiphethe incwadi,
having a book with me.
Mhambe nalamaphoyisa la azongivulela umnyango wangaphandle.
I am accompanied by the police that's going to open for me.
Angivulele.
They would open for me.
Nayijitheni.
There's the detainee.
Asithi e.g. u-Andrew Mbele.
And for example, let's say Andrew Mbele.
Ngiyamazi mina ngoba ngisebenza lapha.
I would know him because I'm working there.
Andrew, une complaint yini complaint yakho?
I would then say, Andrew, do you have a complaint? And if, what is your complaint?
Nisibhale zonke.
I would then I would note down all the complaints.
Asho ukuthi mhlambe uzafuna ukubona Dr. Phethe inhloko noma yiloko noma yiloko but yonke ama-complaint ngiyaphala.
For example, he would maybe say, I want to consult a doctor because I've got a headache. I would then note down everything.
Ngize ngiwaqede wonke lama-detainees.
And I would then do that round doing all the detainees.
La bengibhala khona mina.
Yeah. Where I noted down.
Ngiyayithatha lento le ngihanda over ku warrant officer McPherson.
I would then take that.
Yeah.
I would then take that book and hand it over to Warrant Officer McPherson.
Ngoba mina ngijuna uye uthatha le ncwadi le yama-complaints. Ayithatha ngise 10th floor asho ukuthi ama-detainees nazi ikhalazo zawo.
Because I'm a junior to him, my lord, he would then take that book, take it up to the 10th floor, and he would then hand it over to 10th floor saying, this is the detainees' complaints.
Ngaso sikhathi mina ngisele la.
At that time, I am remaining down there
La ngisebenza khona emasini.
where I am working at the cells.
Thank you, Mr. Nyampola. If we can now return to the situation where you have returned from the 10th floor with a detainee, and the detainee says, I have a complaint, I was assaulted on the 10th floor. If you can just confine yourself to that particular situation on your return to the second floor cells with a detainee who says, I want to complain about an assault, what would you do and what would then happen?
Mamela ke babunyagoleka asithi ke nasi siqosha sisuka lapha na 10th floor uyasilanda ke manje ke sekumele usibuyisele enzansi ku second floor ngithi uma usilanda kanjalo ke kube nesikhalazo athi kuwena ke baba kinesikhalazo kishayiwe lapha na 10th floor wena ke yini uyenzayo
ngithatha wonke lama complaints la.
I would note down all those complaints.
Ngithi mangiceda ukwenza njalo same thing procedure ngithathe lama complaints la nginikeze the senior uMcPherson ngiye.
And I would do the exact same thing. I would then give all the complaints that I've noted down, recorded, my lord, I would give it to my senior. And I would say to my senior, these are the detainees' complaints.
So then who would ultimately decide whether to react to that complaint? Perhaps arrange for a doctor or a medical visit? Who had the authority to make that decision?
Ubani ke bakanegunya lokuthi ke athathe isinqumo sokuthi ke azame ke abize udokotela ke ngoba sekune complaint ethizini yomuntu odinga udokotela.
Lapho ngathi ngayibeka kanje ina yilo phezulu uma sina wathatha no complaint wamukisa 10th floor le phezulu.
My lord, I, after recording the complaints, would give it to McPherson, and then McPherson would take what I've noted down and take it to the 10th floor.
A 10th floor, opete 10th floor investigation. Wago Captain Arthur B. Cronwright.
Arthur B.
Arthur, yeah, B. Cronwright.
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 After giving it to McPherson would take it up to the 10th floor. At the 10th floor, the head of that section of the investigation, you would give it to that person. That person at that time was Mr. Arthur B. Conrad.
Okay, so to the best of your recollection, it wasn't Warrant Officer McPherson who would decide whether to call a doctor or not. It would ultimately be Arthur B. Conrad who was in charge of the investigation.
So wena ke ngicabanga kwakho ke bekungasuye McPherson bekangabiza mhlawumbe udokotela for loyo muntu loyo ke onesikhalazo kuzoba yilo ophethe lapha na ke 10th floor Mr. Arthur B. Conrad.
Yeah, mina understanding yami ngithatha ama complaint anikeze Arthur Conrad ukuthi B. Conrad wenzani unikeza abani angazi.
That's according to my understanding, my lord. It would be taken to Mr. Arthur B. Conrad, and then when it's at Arthur B. Conrad, I don't know then who does he give it to or what does he do.
Ngoba B. Conrad usebenza nama officers maningi kunabo captain abanye sebenza nabo lieutenant njalo.
Because Arthur B. Conrad is working with police officers. They like captains, lieutenants, and so on.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Nyampula. So my last question on this aspect: if the detainee had no complaints on your return to the second floor cells, would you record no complaints?
Magubege isiboshalesi noma i-detainee leyo ke ayinaso isikhalazo ayinama complaint ke lokho bokubhala phansi ukuthi akana complaint.
Bengibhala phansi but most cases kwakune complaint.
I would write it down, yes, my lord. I would note it down. But in most cases, there would be complaints.
Ankomboli ititeni itmabuya back from investigation noma noma kuphi ibeyekho ibuye inga complain.
I do not remember of one detainee that would come back from investigation, that was booked out, or come back from interrogation, or come back from the 10th floor that did not complain. There was always complaints.
If that was the case, Mr. Nyampula, can you give an indication to His Lordship the typical kinds of complaints that were being made?
Makube kunjalo ke bakunyambule ke besicela ukuthi uchazile inkosazantolo ke ukuthi ke ama complaint lawo ke botho bekuma complaint anjani bekuyikhalazo ezinjani.
But
it was a lot, but I will name them.
Abanye bebikhala ukuthi bashayiwe.
Some would complain saying they were assaulted.
Abanye ba complain ukuthi bebe bachoka.
Some would complain and say they were electrified.
Abanye ba complain ukuthi bebe mile isikhathi eside.
Some would complain and say they were standing for a very long time. They were not allowed to sit down. Some would say to me they were made to lift up their hands in the air.
Crouching position women and
some would say, complaining to me, saying they were made to be in a crouching position, it's like squatting, my lord, as if there's a chair, and where there was no chair.
Abanye sideways, you get to pen kusi abanye kanji,
some like this and some like that. Witness is demonstrating, my lord, by holding both his hands wide open to the sides. Both his hands, some of them were made to do this. So he's showing a position of lifting up his hands in the air, my lord. Some would be made to do like this, and witness is showing a demonstration by putting his hands in the air, but to his back.
Abanye, the position there, a frog position.
And some would be made to do a frog position.
Those
are some of the complaints which I remember, but there were many complaints, my lord.
Thank you, Mr. Nyampula. And in fact, we are going to return to some of those incidents a bit later in your evidence.
Kuyasho-ke ukuthi-ke okunye-ke bazokubuza-ke maseqhubeka-ke uthula ubufakazi.
In your affidavit, and you confirmed in your evidence that the cells were staffed by uniformed police officers, as well as people like yourself from the security branch.
Uye ngasho-ke laphana emaselini bantu bebegcwele-ke laphana-ke mina bekune-uniform branch laphana amaphoyisa bekunama-security branch abantu bafana nawe. Yes.
And one of their duties was to patrol the cells.
Okunye kumsebenzi wabo-ke bekumele ukuthi bapatrole-ke laphana emaselini.
Yeah, umsebenzi wabo kumele bapatrol myself.
That's correct. That was the duty to patrol the cells.
Can you explain to the court how often, how regular those patrols were required to take place?
Ungakhona ukuchazela inkantolo ukuthi-ke lawo ma-patrol lawo-ke bewenzeka kangaphi?
Angithi roughly hourly.
Let me just estimate, or let me just say roughly, my lord, hourly.
So every hour of every day of the week, a patrol must take place.
Kusho ukuthi-ke i-hour ne-hour-ke iy'nsuku zonke-ke zeviki-ke bekupatrola nge-hour-ke laphana.
Every day.
Yes, my lord, every day.
Kwakumsebenzi wabo la uniform there.
The uniform branch, that was their duty.
And then Tina is security branch. Kwangana sikhathi sokuthi mhlambi hourly every 15 minutes.
And ask
Okay.
And then ask the security branch, my lord. I can estimate by saying every 15 minutes you should peep, you check through that hole. That if the person is still alive.
But you, of course, would knock off at 4 p.m. Would the patrols be required, at least the hourly patrols, be required to continue even after your departure?
Wena-ke angithi bowushayisa laphana ngabo 4 laphana. Kodwa ukupatrola-ke laphana-ke laba be-uniform-ke bekufuze bona bachubeke-ke batrole ebusuku noma usushayisile.
Umthetho kwakufuze baqhubeke kube 24 living.
That was procedurally, my lord. They had to patrol 24 hours ongoing. And they were working shifts.
And can you explain in detail what was involved in those hourly patrols? What did the police actually have to do each time they patrolled the cells?
Ungakhona ukuchaza kabanzi-ke ukuthi ngala amaphoyisa-ke lawo-ke bebepatrola ngama-hour-ke bebenzani-ke bona kuchaze-ke leyo. I can explain that.
I-patrol bebeyenze buvulwa umnyango lo abuza umuntu hayi usese-right funani yonke lento ukhala ngani yini ukudingayo.
Yeah. The hourly patrol would be like this, my lord. The police officer would open the door, can ask the detainee, are you okay? What do you need? What do you need? None for them.
Noma yini isikhalo nje anaso.
Any complaint that the person has, or the detainee has.
But presumably, if the detainee was sleeping, to at least look to see if everything was in order.
Makube ke mhlawumbe ke isibosha leso ke mhlawumbe silele ke bebebona bebebhekisisa kahle ukuthi ngabe konke kusahamba kahle.
Yebo.
Correct, so yes.
So how do you see?
Bebabona kanjani?
Umayelele bambona ukuthi mayelele bambeza ngesikhathi bamvuse.
If the person is sleeping, they would see the person is sleeping, they would wake the person up, or they would call the person out.
And then my responded, let's say, uphamisa inhloko noma uphamisa isandla saphila lo muntu.
That person would then respond by maybe lifting up his hand or lifting up his head, and then they would see that person is still alive.
So why was this, if you regarded it as an important task, please explain to the court why this was important.
Nje busuchazile ukuthi bekuwumsebenzi obalulekile kakhulu, ungakhona ukuchazela inkantolo ukuthi yingani bekubaluleke kangaka.
Bathi labantu bazibulala emaseleni.
It was said these people commit suicide inside the cells.
Who was saying that to you?
Bani okutshele lokho.
Conrad.
Conrad.
Yeah.
Conrad.
So, Mr. Nyampula, what's your response to the fact that during the period, in fact, the 3-hour period in which it was alleged that Mr. Neil Aggett hanged himself, that there were no patrols of the cells in that 3-hour period? What is your response?
Wena ungaphawula uthini noma ungaphendula uthini makuthiwa ke kule 3-hour period ke bekungana patrol lapha na futhi Mr. Neil Aggett, Dr Neil Aggett wazehenga lapha, wena ungathini?
Hayi akwazi kwenziwa lokho.
No, it's impossible.
Why do you say that's impossible?
Ingani uthi akwazi kwenzeke?
Ngoba amaphoyisa khona lapha.
Because there are police officers there.
Umsebenzi wabo.
Yeah.
Bakhona kwabo lapha.
The reason of them being there,
ubheka ukuthi labantu laba basaphila nesikhathi kumele basiqine lapho,
is to make sure to see if those people are still alive, and they must keep the time.
And would they need to record the fact that they had made these visits in the occurrence book?
Bona ke bebhala phansi ukuthi bayile bayochecka ke lapha emaselini kuleyo ncwadi le bayibiza ukuthi occurrence book.
Yeah, umthetho unjalo ukuthi lema checkile uyasho ukuthi ngicheckile, uyabhala nesikhathi esithize yonke lento ifuze ibe khona la.
Yes, my lord, it's procedure to record in the book that I've checked at a certain time. Everything is recorded in the occurrence book.
Lord, to assist the court, the evidence in the first inquest, as per Exhibit B8.41, which in fact is the occurrence book for the night of the 4th of February, as well as the morning of the 5th of February 1982. I refer Your Lordship in particular to pages 136 to 137. 136 to 137. It's also known as the SAP 10 book. The evidence will reflect that on the evening of 4th February 1982, a cell visit or a patrol took place at 2230 hours, so that's 10:30 p.m. in the evening.
200 hours.
22:30, so 10:30 on the 4th. and then the next cell visit only took place at 01:30 in the morning, the early hours of the morning of 5th February. My Lord, I'm not going to ask the witness to read this particular document, but if it assists the court, I have made a copy so you don't have to scramble to find it. And with the leave of the court, I'll hand up pages 136 and 137 of Exhibit B 8.41. So, Mr. Nyampule, it appears that no, I'm not going to put that to the witness. Although I've put it to the witness that on the evening in question and the early morning in question, for at least 3 hours between 10:30 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. in the morning, there were no patrols. And you have expressed, Mr. Nyampula, in fact, your words earlier in your evidence was this was impossible. So are you saying now that you are very surprised to hear that, in fact, for 3 hours, no visits took place, and as it turns out, during those 3 hours, at some point in those 3 hours, we don't know, but Mr. Aggett was alleged to have committed suicide?
ngalolo busuku lolo websikhuluma ngapho bekuze kufikile ekuseni-ke ngesikhathi-ke ngo-10:30 kuze kufike laphana kuyi-1 intathakusa-ke ngo-1:30-ke intathakusa-ke lawo ma-hour amathathu-ke lana-ke bekungena-visit-ke laphayana-ke wena-ke ngalokho wena sokushilo noma ngalokho sokuthulile la enkantolo wena ungathi lokhu kuyakumangaza ukuthi azange kube nepatrol noma azange ke bayobheka lapha emaseleni?
Yeah, kuyangimangaza.
Yes, it surprises me.
Side isikhathi 3 hours.
This is a long time, my lord. 3 hours is long.
Now, Mr. Nyampula, in such a circumstance, would there be some kind of maybe internal inquiry to look into why there were no visits during those 3 hours?
Manje-ke makube kunjalo-ke beyikhona mhlawumbe-ke babhekisise ngaphakathi lapho-ke ukuthi kungani bekunganawo amavisit lapha noma bangachekwa abantu ngaleso sikhathi leso 3 hour yonke.
Ngokomthetho kwakufuzile ukuthi bekhona.
Procedurally, it was supposed to be done.
Well, let me put the question another way. Should there be some kind of repercussions for the police officers who should have been doing those visits but failed to do so?
Mangibeke kanjena-ke ngaleso sikhathi bekukhona mhlawumbe ukulungisa-ke for lawo maphoyisa lawo-ke bekumele kwenze lowo msebenzi lowo angawenzanga-ke bekhona mhlawumbe idiscipline abayitholile mhlawumbe bekufuze ukuthi ikhona idiscipline abayitholile-ke kulawo maphoyisa bekufuze ayenze lowo msebenzi bangawenzanga.
Ngokuya kwami kwakumele ukuthi kwakufuzile ukuthi kube ne-discipline.
According to me, there was supposed to be a discipline.
There should have been some kind of disciplinary procedure.
Bekumele-ke kube ne-procedure ye-discipline lapho.
Yeah.
Correct, so yes.
My lord, my juniors advised me that it's approximately 11:15. Would this be an appropriate time for the tea adjournment?
Yes, thank you. May I just cut that? This being the first day of recess, tea time may tend to a bit longer because of a number of announcements to make deputy judgment. So don't be surprised if I'm not here at 11:30.
As the court pleases.
It may take a bit longer, but I'll try my best.
Thank
you. Yeah. Sizobuya ngithi siyedini.
said, yes, we concede that there were no visits during those 3 hours, but we were terribly overworked, so we weren't able to do those visits. What would your response be?
Makube ke lawo maphoyisa lawo ke abhekwe lapho ukuthi asebenze lapho ke noma abheke laphana ke emasini mabangathi bona ngendlela besigcina umsebenzi ngakhona azange sithole ithuba noma ichance ukuthi sihambe siyobheka ke laphana emasini wena bongathi
no lokho bengeke ngikuvume umsebenzi muphi ngumsebenzi wabo kwakumsebenzi ukuthi babheke ama-details yimuphi umsebenzi kwakumele ukuthi bawenze.
No, I wouldn't agree with them. Which other work? Because their duty is to do those visits.
So, Mr. Yampula, in fact, that's what the 3 officers claimed before the first inquest, is that they were overworked.
Akunyambule kahle kahle yilokhu ke amaphoyisa lawo ke bebesebenza ngalelo langa lelo ngaleso sikhathi leso ke bona basho njalo ke bathi bebegcina umsebenzi.
Hayi ngiyamangasa mina.
It's very surprising to me.
My Lord, for the record, an example of that evidence can be seen at volume 2, page 285. That's 285 of the record of the first inquest, and that evidence was given by one Sergeant Achenbach. That's Agenbag. Mr. Nyampule, before we move on to another topic, if I can just take you back to the evidence you gave this morning, where you described the procedure for escorting detainees back and forth from the security branch wing on the 9th and 10th floors.
Ngaphambi ukuthi sichubekele phambili ke bengithanda ukuthatha ke ngibisiye emuva ke ngalofaka izibo sokuthulile ke lapha kukhuluma ngeprocedure ke ebeyenza ma escorta ke bona ke iboshwa ke njenge security branch ke nibathatha nibayisa lapha ku-9th noma ku-10th floor. Siyabuyela kancane khona.
Singabuyela.
We can go back.
Now, you've also testified that you and your other security branch colleagues would knock off at 4 p.m. So my question is, would the same procedure or a similar procedure or another procedure be used after hours, after 4 p.m., if detainees had to be taken to the 10th floor?
Bengifuna ukwazi ukuthi ke njebo wena ke nalapho sebenzisana nabo ke benichayisa ngo4 ke lapha na bengifuna ukwazi nje ukuthi ke ngendlela iprocedure manihambisa ke nibakhapha ke madithini kuya lapha na ku-10th floor beyenziwa leyo procedure leyo ke ebeniyenza nina ke masenishayisile after hours ke emva kwa4 bekuyisi procedure efanayo ukuhambisa amadithini ke lapha na 10th floor.
Angazi, but kwakufuze ukuthi kube same project.
My Lord, I don't know, but it was supposed to be the same procedure.
Thank you. All right, can we now turn to your experiences dealing with the searches conducted in the cells of the 2nd floor male section?
Manje ke ake siye ke lapha na ke ukuthi experience yakho ke masen search ke lapha na ngaphakathi eselini ke lapha na ku 2nd floor lapho kuleyo section yabantu besilisa ke. Yes.
Can you tell the court approximately how frequent or how regular would the cells be searched?
Ungakhona ukuchazela inkantolo ukuthi ke benisearcha kangaphi ke lapha na maselini.
Every day.
We would search every day.
And then it's cut.
And then the time?
ufuna isikhathi.
Do you want the time?
Well, when you say every day, perhaps you can give the times or indicate whether it was once a day or how many times a day.
Nje kusho ke ukuthi ke mihla namalanga ke mhlawumbe ke ungachaza ke ukuthi benisearcha kanye ngosuku noma kangapi.
Kwesinye isikhathi besisesha kanye, kwesinye isikhathi besisesha kaningi.
Some of the days we would search once, and some other days we would search many times, more than once.
I see. And on the days that you would search more than once, was that random or was there a reason for that?
Manje ke kulamalanga lawo ke benisearcha masenisearcha ke kaningi naphayana ke isizathu bekuyisiphi? Noma benisearcha nje kaningi
noma ke besingasishi nje besinikwa instruction ukuthi ne association iselini lakazibani njalo njalo.
No, we wouldn't just search randomly. We would be given instruction that we should go and search in a certain person's cell or certain detainee's cell.
I see. So, if I understand you correctly, at the minimum there would be a daily search of all cells, and then sometimes, if instruction was given, additional searches of specific cells.
Mangilibeke kanjena ke kusho ukuthi ke benisearcha mihla namalanga kodwa ngamanye amalanga makube bayantshela noma banika ama instruction nizosearcha kaningana mhlawumbe.
Yeah.
Kuma cell athizini.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And what was the reason for these searches? Why were they important to do?
Manje ke isizathu sokuthi nisearche ke bekuyisiphi ke yingani bebalekile ukuthi nikwenze lokho?
Isearch into yenza ukuthi isebenze umthetho uthi kumele isearch wonke amaseli eswase into okumele ihlale eselini nedetainee iBhayibheli phela.
It was procedure for us to search all cells on a daily basis because it was said the only thing a detainee must have in the detainee's possession is only a Bible.
Incwadi nazo zonke lezi zinto nempahla zabo azifuneki emaselini.
Books and incwadi like incwadi noma incwadi ebhaliwe.
Incwadi nje
Any document or any book were not allowed, and even the clothes of a detainee should not be in the cell.
Kumele abe nempahla lezi ayigqokile.
The detainee is only allowed with the clothes that he's wearing.
But was it not the case that sometimes detainees might be privileged and perhaps allowed some sweets, chocolates, cookies, and perhaps some other books to read?
Ivoshwa bebanganawo ke amalungelo noma bebanganayo ke ilungelo noma ilungelo lokuthi mhlawumbe abe nama sweet or chocolate mhlawumbe incwadi ezithizeni bangwazi ukuzifunda.
Ayibonke abanye.
Not all of them, some of them.
Some of them. And could you describe a typical search in a cell? What would you do once inside?
Ungakhona ukuchaza kabanzi ke ukuthi ke search manenza mase search ke laphana ke esilini benenza njani?
Okay, singenza example lesithi.
Okay, I will make an example.
Search iseli kunedithini A1 iseli ngoba isel nesel fuze kube na 1.
What happens, my lord, each cell would only have one detainee in it.
Masesha siyangena ekhona sesha ngaphambi kwakhe.
When we are conducting a search, we would enter and do that search, conduct that search in his presence.
Siyamhlubulisa nokumhlubulisa.
So when you say we, who and who?
Manje ke mawuthi ni bani nobani.
Yimi,
Myself,
Warrant Officer McPherson,
Warrant Officer McPherson,
mhlambe kwesinye isikhathi Sergeant Patos naye,
sometimes also Sergeant Patos,
Warrant Officer Sili,
Warrant Officer Sili.
So at most four people will be in the one side.
Kungaba abantu bawu4 mhlambe ubuningi eselini
Four
eyodwa.
police officers.
Amaphoyisa awu4, amalungu amaphoyisa awu4.
yabo kwenzeka lokho.
Yes, that would happen. Yes.
But umthetho uthi ungaseshi uwedwa isini fuze useshe njengani iji masesha iseli fuze ibe nomunye engisebenza naye.
The procedure, my lord, you should not search a cell alone as an officer.
Njengami ngasesha kuthola ukuthi yimi mhlambe noMcPherson.
Like, for instance, I can search a cell myself and maybe McPherson.
Or McPherson mangekho ngasesha noPatos.
If McPherson is not present, I can search with Patos
Or ngiseshe noSili.
or either with Sili.
And would you sometimes carry out inspections of the cell when the detainees were not present?
Can you please repeat it?
Would inspections of the cell also take place while the detainees were outside the cell?
Thank you. Ngamanye amalanga mhlawumbe ke makube i-detain noma isiboshwa leso ke asikho eselini beninozisearcha leyo cell leyo engekho.
Kwakungavamisile.
It was very rare.
Okay, but it did happen.
Kodwa beyenzeka.
Yeah, beyenzeka.
Yes, it would happen.
And what happens if you found something in the cell that should not have been there?
Kwenzakalani ke makube kutholakala okuthizeni eselini ekungamelanga ibe lapho phakathi eselini.
Iyathathwa.
Gets
Yes,
taken away,
kwenziwe report.
and then a report will be made.
And sometimes did you search the detainees themselves, and if so, how?
Ngamanye amalanga ke ngoba noma ngezinye inkathi ke benibasearcha bona ke iboshwa ngokwabo.
Yeah, we will see search.
Yes, we would search them.
Would it be described as a full strip search?
Beyichaza ngokuthi ke i-search yokukhulula, strip search.
Besiyenza.
Yes, we would do that.
Now you mentioned that occasionally the superior officers in the security branch would allow some of the detainees some privileges, so they would get these extra items.
Uyawachaza ke ukuthi ngamanye amalanga ke lapha ku security branch bebevuma ke ukuthi ke ama detainee abe nokunye ke ama privileges mhlambe babanikeze zona. Yes.
Such as extra food items, books, and the like.
Njengokudla mhlawumbe nezincwadi.
Okanye imaseli ngathi kunale match le kulala kuyo le engaka.
Yeah.
Abanye bebelala kuleya A1, abanye 2, abanye 3.
And also sometimes they would be given there's a mat that the detainees would sleep on, and the witness is demonstrating, my lord, showing the thickness of this mat. Then witness is saying that sometimes some of the detainees will sleep with one mat, some of them would sleep with 2, or either some of others would also sleep with 3 of those mats.
But edeni le ilokozele siyatshelwa ukuthi uzibani bani mfakele imatch.
Edeni. Uthi edeni.
Ngithi bayasho ukuthi ne lo ningam-edela enye imatch ayibeke phezulu.
We would get instructions. They would tell us that a certain detainee give him a thinner mat, or a certain detainee give him extra mats to sleep on.
Lezingubo zokulala.
And also blankets to sleep with.
I see. So, are you suggesting that sometimes you were given instructions to make life a little easier for a detainee, and at other times to make it more uncomfortable for the detainee?
Lokho kushoyo kusho ukuthi ke nizotshelwa ukuthi mhlambe ninokutshelwa ukuthi ke lo isibosho lesi ke anenze ukuthi impilo yakhe ibe nzinyana, mhlawumbe nithole futhi ne-instruction yokuthi lona ke niphatheni kahle i-life yakhe ibe ngcono kunanabanye.
Yeah, ngasho ngavumela lapho.
I can agree with you. I can say so, yes.
So in your affidavit you say that occasionally when detainees were given privileged items, and you make reference to pens and paper, sweets, extra blankets, but you also say that sometimes the officers on the 9th or 10th floors would instruct for those items to be removed. In your view, why do you think they were being removed from those detainees?
Laphana ke ku-affidavit kubhalile ke laphana ukuthi ngamanye amalanga ke ama-detainee lawa ke anokunikezwa izinto ke ama-privilege laphana ngamanye amalanga banikezwa amapeni namaphepha ke noswiti mhlawumbe ke ingubo extra ke waphinde futhi washo nokuthi ke banokuntshela ke lephezulu ukuthi ambanosithatha lezo zinto lezo. Ucabanga ukuthi ingani kumele nisithathe lezo zinto? Ingani bathi kumele uyothatha lezo zinto lezo? Lawa privilege wabo.
Ngoba ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe i-detainee isuki ingahambisani nalo muntu lo, let's say investigator.
According to my knowledge, I think it's when the detainee doesn't agree or adhere to what the investigating officer wants.
Or mhlambe khona izinto abangazwani ngazo.
Or there would be disagreements between them.
I
don't know if I can be able to elaborate how.
Asithi mhlambe information abayifunayo.
Yeah. Let's say, for instance, if there's information that they are looking for, they don't get it. Then that would happen. That happened many a time.
Many times? Okay.
Many times.
Can you explain to the court the procedure for showering? How it was that a detainee got to shower, the procedure involved in the actual shower, and what items he was allowed to have with him?
Uyakwazi ukuchaza ke indaba yokushawa ke mangoba idetainee imele iyoshawa noma izinto bekumele aziphathe kuyena ke i-procedure yokuyoshawa lapha?
Yeah, yes.
Yes, I also know that.
So, proceed.
Okay, qhubeka.
Asithi detainee naye kumele iyoshawa.
Let's say here's a detainee that needs to go take a shower.
Iyavulelwa.
It gets open.
Siya la hlala khona impahla zabo, lazibheke khona kune office la hlala khona impahla, insipho zabo, washing rack, toothbrush, into ezinjalo.
There's an office where they are where the detainees belongings stays. Let's say, for instance, a washing rack, the soap, a toothbrush. Detainee would go and fetch those things, having that in a parcel. He doesn't take the whole parcel, my lord. He would only take the soap and whatever, maybe the toothpaste. He would then be taken to the shower.
Just pause there for a moment. You've mentioned soap and toothpaste.
How?
What about a towel?
towel.
Towel.
Ithawula ukhuluma ngensipho nakhuluma ngetoothpaste ke ithawula lona
nalo angalithatha malikhona.
if it is there he can also take it.
But mayiqeda ukugeza noma ukushawa zibuyela back.
After showering or after bathing, those things goes back.
Yes. So in your affidavit, you say that the detainees' toiletries and towel were kept in the property room.
Manje ke uthi ke izinto zakhe zokugeza ke nama toilet wakhe ke bezigcinwa ke laphana kuleyo room lelo.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay, so then you're saying they would then take these items to the shower.
Manje uye wathi ke bazosithatha ke lezi zinto lezo ke baye nazo ke lapha eshaweni.
Yeah, akahambe transfer.
That's correct, and he does not he's not alone at that time.
Yes, explain.
Ukuchaza.
Uhamba nami.
Escorted by me.
See, I ngedwa mina. Uhamba nami ne-uniform.
Not just me alone, it would be myself and a uniform member.
Sifike ila kushawara khona.
We would then arrive where they go to shower.
Angena.
He would then go inside.
And then kune-grill door.
There's a grilled door.
Uyakhiyelwa lapho.
He gets locked inside.
Ngiyahlala. Azaqede.
I will then sit until he finishes.
Uma siqedile ngibiza iphoyisa leli lizongivulela la.
After-
Le uniform.
Okay. After the detainee is finished, I then call the police officer uniform member to come and open the door.
Ngithathe aye back la athathe khona lezi zinto lezi.
I will then take the detainee and take him back to where he took his items to go.
Asithatha ayibeke.
He would then place them back.
Uma ifuna impahla eziclean. Uyazikhipha lapha ya.
If he requires clean clothes, he would then take clean clothes from there.
Uyahlubula la.
He gets undressed right here.
Uyazikhipha lezi ezingcolile impahla. Uyifaka back. Kuphasela lakhe kulindawo.
He will then undress.
Wonke umuntu abine phasela yakhe.
He will undress and dress the clean clothes and put his dirty clothes back into his parcel pack.
Athathwe amushe back esini lakhe.
He would be taken back to his cell.
Akhiyelwe
He would be locked up.
nange-chain nangayo yonke into le ngaleli ukhiwa ngayo.
He would be locked up also with a chain and the whole way, the way we locked them up.
Okay. Mr. Nyampula, it was quite an elaborate procedure, first having to collect various items from the property room, then the shower being observed all the time, and then the items being taken back to the property room. Why were the detainees not allowed to keep their towel and their toiletries with them in the cell?
Manje ke ngizwa konke lokho sokuchazile ke baba manje ke ingani ke ibosho bezingavumelekanga ukuthi ke bagcine ke amathawula wabo nama-toiletry wabo ke laphana kubona ke eseleni.
Zazingavumelanga lezi zinto lezi singahlala naye eselini ngoba
It was not allowed for detainees to stay with those things inside their cells because
ithawula masiselini angayihenga ngalo.
because he can use the towel inside the cell to hang himself.
Amasokisi angawabopha asinge ngawo.
He can also use his socks, fasten it and use it to hang himself with it.
Asithi namashwilisi wamashwilisi ayingasebenzi ayihlala elokhuzi empahleni zakhe ishulisi nje ayingeni iselini.
Even the shoelaces doesn't go in. It's not allowed into a cell.
Yes.
It will remain there where it belongs. Stay.
Ibhanda lingeni iselini.
A belt also is not allowed inside the cell.
Okay, that's sufficient. Thank you.
Siyabonga.
So you've testified that they didn't want to leave the detainees with their own towel because they fear that it could have been used to commit suicide by hanging.
So uchazile lokho ukuthi abavumelekanga ukuthi bahlale namathawula wabo ngaphakathi ke esilini ngoba i-detainee ngayisebenzisa ukuthi ke azihenge ngayo angithi.
Yeah.
Correct, so?
Now, Mr. Nyampule, you're aware that it is alleged that Mr. Aggett hanged himself with a material known as a kekoi.
Manje ke kuthiwa ke uDr Neil Aggett ke yena ke wazihenga ke ngendwangu ebizwa ukuthi kekoi.
Ngiyawuzwa lapho. Yes.
I hear that.
Do you know what a kekoi looks like?
Yazi ukuthi mhlawumbe ikekoi lena ke into enjani.
Baye bangikhombisa icishe ifane nescarf okanye.
Yes, my lord, they've shown it to me. It is something that looks similar like a scarf.
But akusiscarf injengazathi yindwangu.
But it's not a... But it's not a scarf, my lord. It looks like a material to wrap yourself, the body.
So, Mr. Mpula, thanks for that description. So, in some respects, because you can wrap it around you, as you say, it's similar to a towel, but perhaps not as thick as a towel.
Ngiyabonga ukuthi uchaze ngendlela uchaze ngakhona ke manje ke into efana nethawula kodwa ayi ubuthik bayo ayikho thick njengethawula. I do agree with that.
So would the detainees be allowed to have a material like a kekoi with them in their cells?
Manje ke iboshwa bezivume bezimvumo noma zivumulekile ke ukuthi babe nendwangu ke eyikekoi noma efana nekekoi nabo eselini lapho. No.
And the reason for no?
Isizathu
Suthi athula imvume njalo. Ireason yokuthi ayikho into efuna kayiselini ngoba angayihenga ngalento le angenza anything ayifuna.
They're not allowed to have anything with them in the cells because with material like that or something like that with him, he can hang himself and commit suicide.
So, Mr. Nyampule, who would ultimately decide what could be held in the cells? Now, you've already mentioned that it was the superiors in the security branch, at least when it came to certain privileged items. Did a Captain van Rensburg have a role to play in making these decisions?
Babunyambule bososhilo vele ukuthi ke lephezulu abaphathi ke bona bebevuma ukuthi okuthizeni abakudingayo ke babo iboshwa ke maybe ama privilege lawo ke angene ke lapha eselini ke kodwa ufuna ukwazi ke umeli ukuthi u Captain van Rensburg
Crown Rights Van Rensburg. Crown Rights.
It's not Van Rensburg, it's Crown Right.
Okay. All right, you do in your affidavit describe in some detail how the parcels with gifts, it might be clothing, it might even be a scarf like a kekoi, and sweets and chocolates, how they are received. And because I don't want to take up too much of your time, I'm not going to ask you to take the court through that.
Uyasho ke ukuthi usushilo ke ukuthi ke abaphathi bebanovuma ke ukuthi ke babe namaphasela wabo ngaphakathi ke lapha yana impahla iskhafu leso sifana nekhokhoyi ke
Imaseli, hayi Imaseli.
Wait for the question.
Okay.
o sweet
so-
no chocolate ke usukuchazile konke lokho ke sizondlulekela ngeke sakumoshela isikhathi ke sizochubeka ngokunye.
Okay.
All right.
And you do confirm in your affidavit that when a parcel is handed over, and on the inspection you pointed out the office in the basement, the parcel, there would be a receipt issued, handed over to the person giving it, and then perhaps you can tell us what happens to the parcel after it has been received by the police officer in the basement.
Ubusuchazile ke lapha ngamaphasela ke nangenkathi ke uye lapha sikwenziwe inspection ukuthi ke wasikhomba ngaleyo ndawo la sigcinwa khona ke lapha ku basement ke wasuchazisela ke ukuthi ke makufike iphasela ke yomuntu kuba ne receipt leyo mase ke unikezwa kuloyo muntu loyo. And can you please just repeat the last part of your question?
So once the parcel had been
Yes.
handed over by a family member and a receipt issued, what would then happen to that parcel?
Makube ke leyo parcel ke sifikile ke lapho ke yanikezwa ke lapho ke I receipt yabhalwa ke lapho ke yanikezwa ulungu lomndeni ke leyo parcel leyo ke kwenzakalani ngayo.
Okokuqala iyaseshwa lo parcel.
Firstly, it gets searched.
Bheka yonke into engafuneki.
Everything that is not allowed would be looked for.
And then masiqithi ithathwe le parcel leyo
Thereafter, the parcel would be then taken.
imusho emaselini.
It would be then taken to the cells.
And then emaselini mafika emaselini ayi street eselini iyala kubeka khona imbali.
When it gets to the cells, my lord, it doesn't go straight to that certain cell. It go to where the parcels belong.
And then lo olethelwe impahla kuhanje ayokhishwa eselini.
And then the person that these items were brought for would be then taken out of the cell.
Ayibonisa impahla zakhe abamlethele zona.
And then he would be shown the items or the clothes that is brought for him.
Ne-signature la ngoba iyabhala ukuthi lithini ayi-check ukuthi ziphelele yini lezo mpahla.
And then, because everything gets recorded down that was brought, and he would then check and to make sure that everything that's noted down that was brought for him is complete.
And then abishiya sign.
And then he would then sign for it.
And then athathayo ashiya.
He would then take whatever he wants to take, and he would leave what he wants to leave.
Angazama ngisho ukuthi angathatha ini lethi
I
bamlethele.
don't know, am I allowed to explain when I say he can take what he wants to take?
Yes, I think you should explain that.
Yebo, sicela uchaze.
Asithi bamlethele ama-sweet.
Let's say sweets were brought to him, or yeah,
Ama-sweet uyawathatha.
sweets he can take.
Bamlethele ugwayi.
If cigarettes was brought,
Ugwayi akayi nawo eselini.
he doesn't go with the cigarettes to the cell.
Uthatha lo azawubhema.
He only takes what is going to smoke.
And then if uyalokhuza la kubeka khona impahla kubhaliwe. Lezi zigabani. Mase ifuna ukubhema. Uyasitshela.
And the clothes is labeled that whose clothes belongs to who. And then if he requires to smoke, he will tell us.
Akhishwe if thina sesekhona lapho ahambe ulanda umlingwane.
And then he would be taken out of the cell. If we are still there, and he would then go and fetch another cigarette.
ngoba lo matches babe ngavumeli masejini sasimlayitela.
Because even matches were not allowed in the cells. We would light for him.
Mr. Nyampula, if I can just interrupt. You mentioned that it was ultimately Major Cronwright who decided what detainees would be allowed to get from their parcels and what would be denied to them.
Uye wathi ke uConrad ke Major Conrad onikelana ngemvumo ukuthi ke angathola ini kumaphasela wami.
Yeah, ngishilo.
That's correct. I did say that.
Right. So presumably before the process that you're describing now, there would have been another kind of inspection and a decision would have been taken. Yes, the parcel can go to the detainee in question,
No,
and he or she can get either everything inside the parcel or perhaps only certain items.
Ngakho konke lokhu qeda ukuchaza khona manje ke kusho ukuthi ke kuzoba ne-inspection enye ke ngaphambi ukuthi iye kuyena lowo muntu lapho kuzothiwa ke khona angakuthola kule phasela lakhe noma khona akungamela ngakuthole kule phasela.
Yeah, ikhona lo process.
Yes, there is such process.
Masuka lapha ya. Laziletha khona ngothuli receipt yasuka wonke lamaphasela aya at 10th floor.
After a receipt is taken out of this parcel, all these parcels would be then go to the 10th floor
Aseshwe.
and be searched.
Kusho ukuthi iphasela husband bandlina lo na.
It will be then said that a certain parcel belongs to a certain detainee, consists of this and this and that.
And then abisiyasho ukuthi anganikezwa lo nalo.
My lord, they will then say he can be given this, and that.
So who says that?
Bani ukushoyo lo.
Cronwright, wonke umthetho se-10th floor ushawa Cronwright.
My lord, Cronwright is the one. All the instructions come on the 10th floor are given by contract.
Mr. Nyampula, do you ever recall a time where Mr. Aggett did receive items from a parcel which perhaps would have included clothing and books and sweets, and then perhaps some or all were taken away from him, removed?
Baba, usakhumbula yini ukuthi ke uDr Aggett ke wathola iphasela elinempahla nencwadi namaswidi kodwa konke lokho kulelo phasela lakhe ke yakuthathwa noma ya remove kuyena ukuthi angasitholi.
Neil Aggett into engikhumbulayo mina. Ngikhumbula uNeil Aggett. Ngiya emaselini ngothatha ama-complaint.
About Neil Aggett, what I remember about Neil Aggett, I remember going to Neil Aggett. I remember going to the cells. I'm sorry, my lord. I remember going to the cells to go take down complaints.
Yeah. Ngaso sikhathi ngithatha ama-complaints ngoba ngithatha konke ngathi mangifika.
At that time, while I was busy taking down complaints, because I recorded complaints from all the cells. When I arrived,
That mangifika kuye. What give me.
When I arrived at him, he then said to me,
Wangikhombisa amaphepha athi bathi la makabhale i-statement. Usibhalele i-statement. Wasibhala zonke i-statement owayibhala bebesidabula.
Bebesidabula. He showed to me papers, and he said to me he was instructed to write a statement, and all the statements that he gave or that he was writing, they would tear it up.
Okay. Mr. Nyampula, we're going to return to that evidence
Sizophinde sibuye ke lapho kulobufakazi lobo baba.
shortly, but for the moment I'm only interested in whether you can recall some of those privileged items ever been taken away from Mr. Aggett, Dr. Aggett.
Engifuna kuwena manje ukuthi nje usakhumbula ukuthi izinto lezi abamfakele zona noma abambhalisele zona ukuthi zathathwa kuye uNeil Aggett. Ilokho engifuna
no lapho angikhumbuli angisakhumbuli kahle angifuna ukubamba amanga
regarding
abayithatha angikhumbuli kahle angisakhumbuli.
My Lord, I can't remember if things or what were taken from him. I can't
Okay,
remember.
I'm not, you know, it goes back some 38 years, so it's understandable you can't remember.
Yasho ukuthi kuyazwakala ke lokho kwenzeka isikhathi eside kakhulu u38 years bayazwisisa uma ungasikhumbuli.
Now, Mr. Nyampula, you mentioned in your affidavit that the detainees found ways of communicating with each other.
Uye wachaza nosebufakazini bakho ke ukuthi ke bona ke iboshwa ke bebe baye bathola ke indlela zokuthi bakwazi ukucommunicate bakwazi ukukhuluma bona bodwa amongst themselves.
So can you elaborate whether this was easy or difficult for them and how they managed to do so if they did?
Ungakhona ke uthi uchaze kabanzi ke ukuthi lokhu ke bekulula for bona noma bekunzima noma futhi bekwenza kanjani lokho.
Mina ngangizwa ngabo but ngowami umbono ngabona ngathi kunzima.
I heard from them but according to me I it was difficult for them.
Ngoba indlela babe communicate the way abebenze community ankhona but ba community ba ne toilet la ne toilet.
The way they told me, they informed me how they communicate. They said they communicated when in the toilet because
yabona toilet la uhlala khona ngalondawo leyo.
Yep.
I was communicating nomunye ngale la uhlala khona njalo.
Like for instance uthi ukushoyo baba ukuthi isel nesel bene toilet.
Yeah.
Each cell had a toilet, and they told me that they were communicating whilst in the toilet. If one detainee is in the toilet in his cell and the other detainee is in the toilet in the other cell, that is how they managed to communicate.
But angazi communicate kanjani ngoba toilet mongena inamanzi.
I don't know how were they communicating because when you enter the toilet, there's water.
And then enye asekuthina
and the toilets are not close by. They were far apart.
Well, I won't ask you to rack your brains about how they did it, and indeed, my Lord, we will need evidence from detainees on that score.
Yeah, sure. Ukuthi angeke athi ke wena ke uzicheleza ikhanda usho ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani kodwa khona uzochaza lokho.
Yeah, angazi ma actor.
I don't know if I can act that part.
Not act.
But to add. I'm sorry, my Lord. To add.
To add.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
What they informed me, they told me that.
But
the detainees that told you.
Bonage, eventually, detainees. Correct, my Lord, the detainees. They were only telling me, they did not tell everyone.
So,
it was not my duty to go and say what the detainees are saying.
And you can tell us now. You can tell us.
Ungasitshela ke manje.
Oh, ngabe ngathi ngabe ngoba ngamangala umuntu ukhuluma kanjani ne-toilet omunye umuntu angale nomunye ukhuluma kanjani.
Then I left them because I could not understand how can one communicate with the other whilst in the toilet. I could not understand that.
But did they tell you how they did it?
Bakutshela bona ukuthi bakwenza kanjani.
Bangitshela mazange bangikhombise ukuthi senza kanje.
They told me, my lord, but they never showed me this is how we do it.
What did they tell you?
Batheni kuwena bakutshela batheni kuwena.
No, bathe bayakhuluma uma bekhuluma let's say bayaphuma baya ngaphandle. Bayakwazi ukukhuluma bona ngasho ukuthi mina bebengishayile mina bangithathe bangenza kanje mina bangenze kanje njalo njalo.
They would talk when they went outside. They would say, the one would say to the other, I was assaulted, this was done to me. The other one would say, that was done to me.
My Lord, when we read the evidence from the detainees, they will explain the mechanics behind the process. Besides toilets, was there any other way that they could somehow communicate with each other?
Ngaphandle kwama-toilet beyikhona enye indlela bebekhona ukuthi baxoxisane bona. No, there wasn't. There wasn't.
Okay. Also in your affidavit, you state that you, as the security branch personnel, took pride in maintaining the cleanliness of the cell block and the cells in particular. Why did you, as police officers, take pride and ensure that the cells were kept so clean?
Uyachaza futhi ke ukuthi ke wena ke nje ngelunga lama security laphana ke yini noma wena ke benenza isiqiniseko ukuthi ke ama-cell ahlezi ahlanzekile clean. Yingani nina njengamaphoyisa bekuwumsebenzi wena ukuthi ama-cell ahlala ehlanzekile noma clean?
Ukuthi bahlale endaweni.
For them to stay in a clean place.
So, what did you do to make sure that the place was clean? Did you issue any instructions, and if so, what kind of instructions?
Manje yini ubukwenza ukuthi ke ama-cell leyo lawo agcine ehlanzekile ngendlela bewahlanzekile nokuhle clean? Ubanikeza ama-instruction noma ubatshela ukuthi benze njani noma?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ibisibatshela ukuthi ithanye i-cell lapho clean benze njalo.
Yes, we would tell them, sweep your cell, clean your cell, and they would do that.
And then bafuna ukwafirifa benze zonke ngoba ayikho into abayenzayo masini.
And then some of them would, if they want to shine their floors, they would do that because there was nothing else to do in the cells.
And that's why mina ngithi ama-cells wabo azange ngibona ama-cell aclean njengama-cell wama-political detainees.
And what I can say is I've never seen a clean cell like the political detainees' cells. They were very clean. The cells were very clean.
And what about the grill door and the grill itself, that cage section?
Umnyango lo wegrill ke na igrill yona leyo kuleyo section leyo.
Yeah, clean. Baby clean na.
They were also cleaning it.
Yeah, clean. It dusty young to dusty nje.
It was clean. You would never found dust.
And would you in fact carry out inspections to see whether it was clean or not?
Wena ke ubuhamba lapha uyohlola ke uinspector ukuyobheka ukuthi ku clean noma.
Yebo.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Nyampule. We're going to move now to a different topic. Let's just briefly deal with the question of exercise and what kind of exercise the political detainees were allowed to do.
Sesiyaqhubeka ke sikhuluma ngendaba yokuyivocavoca ke exercise ke ukuthi ke lama political detainees bebenza ama exercise amaphi noma bebevumileke ukuthi benza ama exercise
push ups bebenza.
They were doing push ups.
Ukugquma bebenza.
They were jumping.
Ukugijima bebenza.
They were running.
And please explain how often they were allowed to do this and where.
Sicela ukuthi uchaze ke ukuthi ke bevumeleke ukuthi bakwenze kangaphi futhi bakwenzela kuphi.
Bebekwenzela ikhona indawo ekuthiwa exercise yathi bakhombisile esikhathini.
They were doing it at a place where it was called the exercise yard. I did point it out to the court.
And then we exercise yard yithi ngibeke nje ngithi lethi uya ku exercise yard angibafaki bonke bangena one omunye uzongena ku exercise yard omunye ama-set sebacethile kwenza zonke uzagijima la eposition la ayofika lapha.
I wouldn't take them or let them. I wouldn't take them all into the exercise yard, my lord. They would go into the yard one by one. Let's say, for instance, one would go into the exercise yard, then the other one, after cleaning himself, and will run. Because up and down, up and down.
Okay, you see, I'm a sailor, but L shape.
And then one would run there at the cells, my lord, and the cells were in a L shape. Okay. I would stand here and McPherson would stand there. Witness is demonstrating, my lord, showing with his right hand he would stand on one side.
Okay.
And warrant officer McPherson would stand on the other side, the opposite side. Then if the detainee runs from where the witness starts running from where the witness is, he would then go to where McPherson is standing. Warrant officer McPherson is standing.
Perhaps, Mr. Nyamkhula, it might help yourself and perhaps the court if you pointed out on the floor plan, which you might still have. My lord, that's exhibit G10. It's page 4 of that exhibit.
Page 4.
Perhaps you can begin by pointing out where the courtyard is, and then you can explain where else they might have run.
Mawungaqala mhlambe ke ukhombe ke la i-courtyard ibikhona ke emva kwalokho sozochaza ke okunye.
Okay. Lindawo ngapha kulama office la kuna 1 2 3 eyama office.
There are 3 offices on the sketch plan itself, my lord, under B2. Witness is pointing the 3 offices which are not marked under B2. Kulama office?
Yeah, kulama office la. Ukusuka la ukuza ngapha. Ngike ngabakhombisa kunomnyango ongena ngapha i-courtyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
My lord, witness is pointing on the sketch plan that courtyard is just as a door underneath, and then that's and courtyard would be somewhere situated somewhere.
Yeah, I think we saw it when we went to the instruction.
Yes. So witness is.
Where it's written you are here.
Yes.
So the door leading to the courtyard.
Yeah.
That's correct. Injalo la. That's correct, my lord.
And then, Mr. Nyamkhula, just to save a bit of time, you see the corridor is like an L shape.
Uthi ke laphana ke i-corridor noma ke ama-cell ke lawo ke i-shape ye-L.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Would the detainees be permitted from time to time to run along that L-shaped corridor?
Manje ke iboshwa ke lezi ke bezivumulekile ukuthi ke bagijime ke laphana kulawo ma-cell laphana kuleyo corridor leyo. No, not like that.
Okay, please explain where.
Akusichazisele ke chaza ke baba.
Asithi mina ngila. uMcPherson ula.
I mean like when asithi ulana ne?
Yeah, angithi ipassage yonke la ngithi.
Yebo.
Yebo. I-L-shape ngithi yali.
So when ula uMcPherson
ula.
Right. Ngicela ukuchaza.
Okay.
Ngicela ukuchaza. For instance, my lord, let's say for example I'll be standing between B1 and B2 and McPherson would be standing between B11 and B26, but in that same passage. Yebo.
Uzawugijima lo muntu lo ukusuka la uzofika la kuMcPherson. Athi mefika kuMcPherson ajike ezikimi njalo njalo.
Then the detainee, my lord, would run from where I am standing, run until where Warrant Officer McPherson is standing, and then he would then run back from where Warrant Officer McPherson is standing back to where I am standing.
Thank you, Mr. Nyampuru.
Gangapi?
Ngiyadepend from it. Mzabanye asisho lo wena yenza like 5 noma yenza kanjani. Mase category yeke.
It depends. We won't say how many times they would run. When the detainee is tired, he would then stop.
Mr. Nyapula, and while we're looking at the floor plan of the male section, you have already pointed out where the magistrates and district surgeons would meet with the detainees. But just remind us which office that would take place in.
Manje ke masibheka ke plan lena ke sketch plan lena ke.
Yeah.
Uyowasichazisela ke ukuthi ke u magistrate naye ke udokotela banokufika ngithi lapho mabasebefikile bebefikela kuphi akusibonise ukuthi mabefika bona bebefikela kuphi.
Well, office is 1, 2 yileli
lesithathu lokugcina. My lord, there are 3 offices which are not marked under B2. The 3rd office, witnesses counting 1, 2, 3. The 3rd office is where 3. The 3rd office is where the office where there's a green color colored in that office. This is where they would come to.
And
where there's a description, you are here.
You are.
There's a right thing that's written that you are here.
Yeah.
Lana ke kubhalwe ukuthi no hangibona la kubhalwe ukuthi you are here kulapho.
Yeah, kulapho.
That's correct, my lord.
Mr. Nyampulu, who would decide whether the detainees could see a district surgeon or magistrate?
Manje ke babunyambule ke ubani ozokhipha isinqumo sokuthi ke wona ke ama detainee lawo ke angabona nanoma ke udokotela noma umanje.
Warrant Officer McPherson. Yeah.
Warrant Officer McPherson.
And were there times in your experience that detainees who had requested to see a district surgeon or a magistrate were held back or prevented from seeing a district surgeon or magistrate?
Ngenkathi wena ke ulapho ke kuke kwenzeka mhlawumbe ke isiposha masithi ke sifuna ukubona umanje noma sifuna ukubona udokotela ke la anganikezwanga ke imvumo noma angayiswanga lapha anganikezwanga lelo thuba lokuthi abone udokotela noma abone umanje.
Yeah, kaningi kwenzeka lokho.
Yes, my lord, many a times it happened.
And do you know the reasons why they might have been stopped from seeing a magistrate or district surgeon?
Uyazazi mhlawumbe ke izizathu ukuthi kungani ke banganikezwanga lelo thuba noma basimisiwe ukuthi babone umanje noma udokotela.
Kusuke kungama-detainees alimele.
It is when a detainee is injured
Noma anama-marks engathi ukushaywa into ezinjalo.
or if a detainee has visible marks of being assaulted.
Any other circumstances besides visible injuries that are apparent?
Khona mhlawumbe isizathu esinye ngaphandle ukuthi ke mhlawumbe eshayiwe.
Hayi bengithi lezo ungazike mhlawumbe sikhona but engicabangayo mina yilezo. Ama-DTs amaningi abengaboni udoctor magistrate kwangama-detainees sithola ukuthi abuya ngaphandle ku-further investigation naku-interrogation balimela bakwazi ukuhamba banama-bruises into ezinjalo.
I only know of those reasons. Maybe there were other reasons, I don't know. But mostly the detainees that were not allowed to see the district surgeon or the magistrate are the ones that was maybe taken out for further investigation, and then they were assaulted and they got visible injuries. They were the ones that was not allowed to be seen by the district surgeon or the magistrate.
So, in your experience,
I'm sorry, and my lord, I'm sorry, I missed out something. The witness also said, detainees that were also taken to the interrogation room.
so sometimes a magistrate or a district surgeon couldn't see the detainee because he or she might have been on investigation or was in the interrogation room.
Manje ke isizathu sokuthi ke bamncabele ke ititile isiboshwa ke sika boni magistrate noma I district surgeon udokotela hilaba abakhishiwe abayiswe mhlawumbe ke for investigation noma leyo iqalama leyo phenya na ku interrogation room ababuya lapho balimele. That's correct.
So you've indicated firstly that oftentimes with individuals who had visible injuries, they would be kept away from the magistrates or district surgeons. And then what would they say to the district surgeons as to why they couldn't see these detainees?
Manje ke sochazile ke ukuthi laba ke abakhishiwe ke bayo mhlambe ke qala liyophenywa ke noma ke bayiswe lapha na ku interrogation room abashayiwe ke bayanqatshwa ukuthi bangaboni ke umanje noma ke udokotela ke manje ke bethiwani kumanje na ku district surgeon ukuthi yingani bangakwazi ukubona ke ibo lezo
Beach abekho labantu labo baphumile for further investigation bothatha mhlamba amalanga into ezinjalo abekho la emasiki.
It was said the reason why they can't be seen is because those detainees are booked out either for further investigation for a few days, and that's the reason why they can't be seen. They are not available in the cells.
And do you ever recall a district surgeon or a magistrate complaining about the fact that they were not allowed to see the detainee for that reason?
Usakhumbula mhlambe ke kuye kwaba bakhona mhlawumbe ke la umanje noma udokotela enesikhalazo ukuthi ke abana mvumo ukuthi babone lezo iboshwa mhlawumbe iboshwa ezithize noma lezo iboshwa lezo.
angikhumbuli magistrate ene complaint angikhumbuli odokotela bene complaint.
I don't recall of any magistrate that had a complaint. I don't recall of any district surgeon that had a complaint.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Nyampula. Now,
Can I just
yes.
When a district surgeon or a magistrate came to CDT, did he have a name or names as to who exactly he wants to see? Or was it just a general visit for everyone who was there?
Manje ke mase kufike umanje kufike nodokotela laphayana beka nayo mhlawumbe ilist yamagama yabantu noma yabantu kumele bababone noma bebefika nje mabafikile ke bona kumele babone bonke zonke ibosho.
Umuntu wephathi list lapha uMcPherson.
The person that was in charge of the list was McPherson, my lord. McPherson.
Warrant Officer McPherson. No. Warrant Officer Silly.
It was Warrant Officer McPherson and also Warrant Officer Silly.
Hibo bebesh kutini ambulance uzbanibani azibonile ukuthi ethina sasithunywa.
Okay. They were in charge of the list. They would say, go fetch a certain person. We were only sent, my lord, to fetch.
Yes, but what I want to know is that you don't know whether a magistrate or a district surgeon wanted to see a particular detainee or not.
Kodwa wena awazi ukuthi mhlawumbe umantyi noma ke udokotela kunomuntu othizeni akumela mbone noma cha. No man.
as a court pleases. Now, let's move on to another topic, Mr. Nyampula. In your affidavit, you make reference to certain incidents that took place at John Foster Square, and in particular, you refer to someone by the name of Paul Langa. Who was Paul Langa?
Lana ke statement sakho ke noma ku affidavit yakho ke babnyangule kunomuntu othizeni ke ukhuluma ngaye ke Paul Langa. Ubani uPaul Langa?
Paul Langa umunye wama political detainees, so I say second floor cells.
What's the second floor cells?
Yeah.
Paul Langa is one of the political detainees who was on the second floor.
And can you explain why you wish to bring the experience of Mr. Paul Langa to the attention of this court?
Ungakhona ukuchaza ukuthi yingani ke wena ufuna ukuthi inkantolo iyazi ngoPaul Langa?
Yeah, uPaul Langa wangitshela mina.
Yes.
Wangitshela. Wathi bathi bazomthatha 3 weeks bamse. Further investigation.
Yes, my lord. Paul Langa informed me that he is going to be taken for 3 weeks, taken for further investigation.
And wathi la ayakhona bathi bazommesa emengenyawo for 3 weeks, day and night.
And he informed me also that they told him that where they'll be taking him for the 3 weeks, they'll be making him to stand for 3 weeks, day and night. And that happened.
And did you see him on his return?
Yes, my lord, I saw him.
And can you describe his condition?
His condition was otherwise. Yes.
Inyawo zakhe zazivuvukile kwangazathi inyawo zendlovu.
His feet, his feet were swollen. It looked like elephant's feet. And also his legs, my lord, his legs were swollen.
And
you can see that he is tired.
And then what my figure emaselini ibuyada abuya khona azanga isilini bakhubeka nokwenza lo ngoba wazi kwaba nama shift ezwayo.
And when he came back, he wasn't brought back to the cells because what uthi lokhu baqhubeka ngayo
bamlethi emaselini but azange bamthathe bamuse isilini lakhe.
My lord, what happened, they did bring him to the cells, but he was not put back into his cell. And witness also said they continued with what they were doing with him, making him to stand. And they were taking shifts.
Exercise yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why they were up?
He was put in the exercise yard.
And just to be clear, when you mention they, who are you talking about?
Manje uqaqisa nje mawuthi ba ukhuluma ngobani?
Ngikhuluma ngemember of the security branch.
I'm talking about the members of the security branch.
Abamhlophe.
White people.
Do you happen to recall their names perchance?
Usakhumbula amagama wabo mhlawumbe?
Amagama abo ngeke ngisakhumbula ngani. I-security ayisebenza kanje.
I won't be able to remember their names. Reason being, this is the way security was working or operating. Yeah.
Babethi mabenza into ezifana nalezo.
Yeah.
Kwangabi imember ezisuka eJohn Foster. I-security branch yayigcwele yonke lokho. Thola ukuthi imember kuthiwa isibe i-head office, isibe eJermiston, Eastern,
and
Krugersdorp.
yeah,
Anyway.
The reason why, my lord, it's because when they were doing these kind of things, it was not the members that were the members from John Foster. Security branch. Security branch was all over. They were head office. There were some at head office. There were some at Germiston, some at Krugersdorp.
Nabanye uthola kwezindawo angazi ukuthi kukhomba yonke indawo la kwakunesecurity babephelele John Foster.
Some places some of them I wouldn't know from which places they're coming from, because all around these places, my lord, there were securities and they were all come to John Foster.
Okay. Now, just to be clear, you say that his abuse did not end while he was investigated, but continued after he was brought back, and that he was made to stand for prolonged periods. Was that in his cell, or where exactly was that?
Manje ke uthi lokhu kukhulumeza kwakhe ke azange kuze kuye waqhubeka ke futhi ke bebemisa ke ama-hour nama-hour. Lokhu bekenzeka kuphi ke ngaphakathi eseleni yakhe noma
Exercise yards.
In the exercise yard?
So he was made to stand in the exercise yard.
Bebamenza ukuthi ame lapha ku-exercise yard.
Yeah.
That's correct.
And was he abused in any other way?
Khona okunye ukuhlukunyezwa abamenze wona.
Engikhumbula yilo.
That's what I can remember of.
Okay. And was he ultimately allowed to see a magistrate and or a district surgeon?
Yena ke wangagcina evumulekile ukuthi abone umantshi noma udokotela.
Omunye owama-detective ongazange avunyelwe ukuthi abone imantshi Imanchi, not doctor.
Yeah, well, he was one of the detainees that was denied to see a magistrate or the district surgeon.
Denied altogether, or did they eventually allow him at a later stage to see them?
Bamncabela solo bemncabela noma bagcine bemvumela ukuthi ababone.
Angisakhumbuli kahle noma bamvumela noma zange bamvumela, but angisakhumbuli.
I can't remember so well if he was allowed to see them or not. I can't remember.
And besides Mr. Paul Lunga, were there any other detainees who complained of similar abuse?
Ngaphandle kwapholanga ke khona mhlawumbe ke omunye ke weyiboshwa ke aba beba complain noma baba nesikhalazo ke batshela wena.
Yeah, ingazathi.
Yes.
Umuntu engimkhumbulayo
A person that I remember.
azange akhale yena ukuthi wakhale, but engikhumbulayo ukuthi ngathi ngiya emaselini ngiyasebenza, ngavinjwa egedini, ngavinjwa uMcPherson.
Wavinjwa bani?
uMcPherson
McPherson. What I can remember is when I went to the cells, McPherson stopped me at the gate.
wangitshela ukuthi mangijike ngigijime ngiphindele back to a 10th floor.
He told me to turn back and I should run up, going back to the 10th floor.
Ngiyobatshela 10th floor ukuthi uKhalni house.
He said I should tell them at the 10th floor that Carl Neil House,
uzama ukuzibulala iseli.
yeah. Carl Neil House is trying to kill himself, to commit suicide in his cell.
Ngaya ngafika 10th floor.
I went to the 10th floor.
Ngabatshela.
I told them,
Who did you tell?
utshele mani.
Ngitshele uCaptain Maholo watshela uCronrad.
I told Captain Mahoro. Captain Mahoro told Conrad, my lord.
Ngaphindela back emaseli.
I then went back to the cells.
Before ngifika emaseli. Okay.
Okay.
Before ngifika emaseli, but
Yebo.
sengidlulile church office.
Before arriving at the cells, but already past the church office.
La kulo mnyango lo engithi kwahlala iphoyisa.
At the door which I said that there's a police officer that sits there.
After iphoyisa liliseli ngivulele lo mnyango lo.
After that police officer had opened the door for me,
Ngahlangana namaphoyisa we security branch.
I met up with police officers from the security branch.
Bela lokhu enzansi behamba no McPherson yena lo.
Accompanied by McPherson.
Beno Khalni house bemlasi phezulu stretcher.
They were with Carl Neil House, and then he was lying on a stretcher.
But bamthatha bamusa ngazi doctor specialist.
They said they are taking him to either a doctor or a hospital.
So which year was it?
Ngumuphi unyaka?
Hayi angisakhumbuli ukuthi kwawuphi nyaso.
I can't remember which year it was, my lord.
Angazi noma uqhubeka.
Can I proceed?
Mr. Nyampula, can you recall approximately what the time was when you were told to quickly go from the second floor cells and make the report to the 10th floor? What time was it approximately?
Baba Nyambulu, sakhumbula ke isikhathi besithini ke ngenkathi ke wena ke utshelwa ukuthi usheshise ugijime uye 10th floor uyobika lokhu okwakakhala?
Kwakusesikuseni.
It was in the morning, so.
But ayikuseni kakhulu ngoba ngiqala e-10th floor bini meeting. Meeting before
Okay, my Lord, was in the morning, but not that early, because when I arrive at work, I start at the 10th floor, and I would attend the meeting. Every day in the morning, there would be a meeting on the 10th floor.
What time?
Before going to the south. Iskati besi, iskati?
Iskati ngasho ukuthi ngoba sashuka lapha past 7, 7. I sit like before. I sit like 8.
Because I would arrive there at about 7:15, my Lord, 7:30. Let's say approximately 8 o'clock, around 8 o'clock.
Okay. My Lord, I do have a few questions in regard to this and other incidents, but I see it is 1 p.m. Would it be proper time for lunch?
Yeah, that's right. There wasn't no time. Thank you very much. We shall take the lunch again.
All right.
Assume. Lunchtime, so we're lunching back. Manda, what time do you come back? 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock.
1 to 2.